Fuck those hipsters. I want dance.
I said, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop talking to me. Don't stop giving me things.
Hello and welcome back to the Career Mode Championship. This is round number 7 here for the Canadian Grand Prix. Going off of form, we had a really good round back in Monaco, getting our second place there in that round. And we're looking to continue that form and maybe get another top 5 here in Canada. It's certainly looking good. A track that should suit the Toro Rosso down to a T, so we'll be looking forward to some good results here at this track hopefully. But today here in practice we'll be testing some R&D parts, so we'll see how that goes. The test is we have to be on the brakes for at least 12% of the lap, and that should improve the braking wear. So now we're just putting on a base setup here that we're going to run for practice. We may improve it for the qualifying session, but for this session we're just going to stick with what we're doing now, moving the rear spring stiffness down a little bit to improve rear traction. Not going to touch the gearbox or the alignment. So let's head out on track and test these R&D parts, and hopefully we can get some upgrades for the car. So heading out onto track now, and this is the end of the lap. So far we're 15% or 14% clear on our objective there of having the brakes on for that amount of the lap. Now coming through the final corner, just finishing off the lap now, and we should pass it by a mile. The target time was a 1:21, and we're going to smash that, getting a 1:18.3, and apparently that was all the data we needed, just one lap. So hopefully that definitely makes things easier as we continue on through this championship. But now, coming to the end of the session, we're going to put a new engine into the car and hopefully give us a little bit more performance as we head out onto qualifying and the race for the rest of this weekend. This is the end of the session. We ended up in 15th place, and on the prime tyres with 10 laps of fuel, I think we did fairly well. Let's just check what the other AI cars are doing. They were, a few cars on options, so that's encouraging. So some good gains made in that session, and hopefully that can continue on to the qualifying session. Alright then, take a look at that. It is pouring with rain in qualifying. I didn't even think to check the forecast for the weekend, and it looks like 88% chance of rain in the race too, so it's going to make for an interesting weekend. I think we're going to have to change up the setup quite a bit from what we ran in practice. Put the brakes down to medium, move the balance further to the left, give us more grip and more traction, so that should help there. Not going to touch the suspension, make the gearbox a little bit shorter, because we're not going to be using DRS this weekend, you'd have to say. So we'll utilize that, and that's pretty much everything. So we'll skip forward in time a little bit and allow the other AI cars to maybe make the track a little bit better, and we'll head out now in our wet tyres, and hopefully the track should be a little bit faster than at the start of the session, and we can really utilize that fresh rubber and hopefully put in a good lap time. So coming around the final corner for our first lap, and hopefully this will deliver us a good lap time here. Hopefully in the top 10. We'll have to wait and see. 12th place. So I'll need to continue on with that. That's probably not going to be good enough. We're 2 seconds off the pace, and that's compared to Jensen Button, which isn't really relative to the leaders, so we'll have to continue on. Coming around the final corner of our second lap here, and this lap should be a lot better. Building our confidence in that first lap, and this lap should be a lot better. Coming across the line, and we improved by 0.6, and now we're inside the top 10. So I think we can probably bank on that, and we'll fast forward to the end of the session here, as you can see now. And we're sitting in 12th place at this stage, and it looks like we won't be beaten. And we'll head into Q2 with some flying colours and some extra rubber. So that's going to be encouraging. But look at that, 5 minutes later, well, it's supposed to be 5 minutes later, and the track is completely dry. There's absolutely no evidence of any rain that happened, just 10 minutes earlier. And now we're coming to the end of our first lap here in Q2. We're on a set of prime tyres. We set a banker of a 1:16.3. We'll come into the pits, let the track, evolutionize, if that's even a word. Put on the option tyres, and we'll continue on again. So here we are on our first set of option tyres. We're going purple to the first sector split, coming to the end of the lap now. And this should be a good lap, maybe in the top 10. We'll have to wait and see. Attack the final curbs there. Sort of left a little bit to be desired there, so we can definitely improve on that. So I did put 5 laps of fuel in the car, so we can definitely do a numerous amount of laps here as we only go 15th on that lap, which is pretty disappointing. 5/10 faster than our previous prime lap time, but here we go, lap 3, our second lap on these option tyres, and we're still improving, 4/10, but about half a tenth behind the 10th place time, which is a little bit disappointing. Hopefully we can make up some time in the third sector, but our short gearbox definitely isn't helping us here as we're topping out at 187, just past halfway down the straight, so that's going to definitely cost us some time in the third sector, so we're going to have to make it up in the final chicane, really attack those curbs, and then flying to the start-finish line. Where do we go? 12th place. Still not enough. We're just going to have to keep on going here, and hopefully with 2 laps of fuel on board we can just make it to the end of this lap. So we're just going to push really hard here, really attack this final chicane, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us through into Q3. And look at that attack, flying over the curbs. We run up to the final line and we just run out of fuel there. We went to 0 and we just make it into Q3. That was so lucky. I probably don't think we have any more time to find, as this Toro Rosso is pretty much maxed out in that Q2 session. So I think in this session we're just going to retire and just play the safe card. Maybe play a little bit of a strategy card for the race using a using a fresh set of option tyres or prime tyres. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but hopefully that can give us some kind of strategy advantage as we head into the race. So we're starting the race tomorrow in 10th place. Alright, so here we are on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix, getting straight into it for this one, waiting for the 5 red lights to go out, and away we go. Off to a bit of a sluggish start there. I tried modulating the throttle, but that didn't seem to work out. I'm just going to get mugged on the run to turn 1. Jensen Button flies past me, but I'm going to fly past him up the inside and up to 9th place. Going to cut through a few cars here, up the inside of Massa and Alonso. Now I've got Webber in my crosshairs. I'm going to look to dispose of him as soon as possible, putting it down into standard just to minimise the wheel spin, and looks like Alonso has got off to a fantastic start. Oh my god, he got tangled up with Raikkonen, and I gave him a little bit of a tap too, so that was crazy stuff there. We just need to settle down now into this race, as now we're in P5. We picked up another 5 spots off the start of the grid here, so that's very good, putting it up into fast to defend from Alonso, who has a reputation for being an awesome starter and just getting past cars numerous times on the opening lap, so we'll need to defend from him with everything that we've got. And just, oh look at that, Webber's got past Alonso now, so it's a 3-way horse here for 5th place. I used a little Rhinell 83 reference there, so there you go, coming through the hairpin there, and we run completely wide there, but we kept up enough speed to get a decent exit, and now we're going to use up the rest of our curves on this back straight here, and it looks like Webber and Alonso are battling pretty hard there for P6, and that might just allow me to get away for now. Looks like there's a car slowing up ahead. There's a bit of wing damage there, so that's it's pretty interesting. One of these cars is definitely going to be slow without a wing. It might be Hamilton, or it might actually be one of the Lotuses up ahead. I'm going to go up the inside of Hamilton, get the move done fairly nicely, but it looks like it's Kimi Raikkonen who lost his wing, and I'm going to snap up his position anytime soon, and that's going to promote me into the podium positions. I've just been gifted a podium there. That was just absolutely so lucky that I was able to capitalize on Hamilton while Kimi Raikkonen was going slow, and that allowed me to get past both of them. So here we are on lap 6. It's time to make a pit stop, but look at the sky. It's raining. It's I don't know what's going to happen here. It might actually rain hard enough for us to switch on to the wet tyres or the intermediate tyres. A few cars behind me are pitting for a new set of tyres. Surely it can't be for intermediate tyres yet, because it's definitely not wet enough. There's still definitely enough grip left in this track for me to stay out for another couple of laps, and I'm going to do that, staying out 1 lap past my recommended pit stop window, and I'm going to stay out for another lap and maybe come in at the end of this lap, but I need to just conserve the tyres here as we come into the pits now. I just couldn't stay out any longer. I'm going to put on the intermediate tyres now, because I just couldn't stay out any longer on this set of options. I would have if I could have, but I'm going to take a gamble here and put on the intermediate tyres. I'm going to be the first in the entire field to do that, so hopefully it's going to be a race-winning strategy for me, as no one else has done it. They're going to have to stay out on this track, which looks to be getting worse, to be honest, so it looks like I've made the perfect call here, and we're just going to see Webber coming across in front of us here, and he's still on the prime tyres. Yeah, he switched onto the prime tyres in his first pit stop, so everyone else is going to have to come in for another pit stop, and hopefully that's going to vault me into the lead. So we'll just have to wait and see on that one, and just settle into a little bit of a rhythm here and just hopefully pick up as much time as possible, as the track conditions are sort of suited to both tyres at this stage. I seem to have a decent amount of grip, but so does Webber, who seems to be pulling away a little bit. So here we are on lap 14. The track has got a lot worse, and it's actually time for a set of wet tyres. Fernando Alonso has caught me up from like 5 seconds back after he had a sort of average start after the first couple of laps, but now I'm coming in for my second pit stop of the race. Time for a set of wet tyres, and it looks like Sebastian Vettel, who is in the lead, has got a massive lead, and he's still out on the intermediate tyres, so maybe I can gain some time on him. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Pit stop, 3.1 seconds, that's pretty good. Looking behind, and we got out ahead of Alonso. We've actually gained time on Alonso, who must have been slowed up by cars behind him, so that's pretty interesting to note. So we've got some clear track in front of us, and hopefully we can utilise that as we try and cut into the lead of Sebastian Vettel. So at this stage, it's all about consolidating second place here as we cut to the final lap. Unfortunately, Vettel, he was just too quick today, and he just stormed away, came in for a set of wet tyres straight after the lap that I did, and he just pulled away after that. Alonso, it's taken him pretty much the whole race to catch back up to me after his slow pit stop, and now we're going to come across the line in second place, another 18 points for the championship, and we're just punching well above our weight in this championship, which is great to see.
Great race, just fantastic. 18 points.
Thank you, engineer. I just keep racking up these podiums, which is awesome. Hopefully these bigger teams take notice of this, and maybe we can switch up to a bigger team. But at this stage, it's only early days. Look at that. So many DNFers in this race. Definitely got caught out by the challenging conditions today. And the driver standings, it's very much looking good for us. We're on 69 points, only 1 point behind Hamilton, and a podium spot on the standings. So that's very interesting to note. In the constructors, Toro Rosso are in 5th with 78 points, or 70 points, sorry. So looking good at this stage. So this has been the Canadian Grand Prix. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until my next career mode episode, I'll see you next time.